Right, let's move on to Player of the Month. So before we get our individual Player of the Month, we'll look. Paul and Chris, I presume it was Paul anyway, tweeted out on the Redmen account, who was your October Player of the Month? He gave 3 options, and then the 4th option was someone else, and you can tell us who it was. The 3 options he picked Roberto Firmino, Phil Coutinho, and Joel Matip. Probably a fair top 3, I'd say. There's a few other players you might want to put in, but Phil Coutinho stormed it, 55% of the vote. Firmino 25, Joel Matip 19. Liverpool fans like lads who score and assist.
Joel Matip's like the hipster choice. You know, I don't want to be mainstream with the Brazilian like goal scorers. I want to go with like the
if you've gone for the Cameroonian centre half, we're on the same wavelength.
Have you heard his voice, by the way?
His voice was very
German.
He's like a gay porn star, isn't he? I scored a good goal, listen now.
Bruno, yeah.
I'm not going to ask how you know gay German porn stars sound like, but that's fine.
You should see the video of that.
We'll brush over that. We'll brush over that. So
he sounds awesome.
He's quite different than what I thought he's like. Phil Coutinho won then, Johnny. Very much deserved. I thought he was outstanding against Palace. Probably the best individual performance that a Liverpool player's put in all season. Definitely in October, I would say. Scored a very, very good goal against Watford. Bar David De Gea's excellent save, I'd say, against United. He scores there. 2 corners against Palace. Bar a handball, he probably scores a header. You can go on and on and on, but and without rehashing what a lot of people have said on the show about Coutinho in recent weeks, he's doing what Riyad Mahrez done last year. He's no longer a guy who's just doing a bit of excellentness and then just you fading away. He is constantly at 8 and 9s. If I was doing a player of the season across the whole league right now, I think he'd be at least in the vote. He's took himself from Vine player, for lack of a better word, to constant match winner and constant threat for Liverpool, and that's you need someone, I think, to win a league. You need someone playing at 8 and 9s quite often. So, for example, Robin van Persie playing at 8 and 9s when United won the league. Last season, it was Mahrez and Vardy at 8 and 9s every week. You can have a great team, but you still sometimes need that one lad to do something extra special that might get you over the line. And for us now, and especially in October, it's become Phil Coutinho.
He has had the fucking great month.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. A great season. He's had a great season. And we were just having a chat about it on the podcast
political
as well.
About Coutinho.
Where was this?
Coutinho on the podcast.
Redmen, check it out.
Redmen Radio, check it out.
Yeah. So, especially talking about the quality of his balls, especially, is what the other day he's got to be taking those corners because he's got that ability to whip in balls like Payet does, and constantly always going to get the whip, and the defenders just can't really judge it properly. And then it's just everything. He's culminating. He clearly has exceptional ability, like world-class abilities on a football. So it's all about the consistency. And he showed a bit in the first season. Second season he was better. This season he's just on it. He makes it look so simple. I remember Lilian Thuram once doing an interview, and he was just his epitome of what the best players in the world are the ones who do their jobs and make them look simple. So when Henry finishes, he would talk about Henry. It's like when the guy scores, it looks easy every time. So that means he's very good. When Zidane turns 4 players, it looks easy. There's no breaking any stride.
Yeah.
Coutinho, everything he does, it looks like he's taking the piss. And I think basically the difference you've got now is that I think Klopp has given them this individual responsibility as well. So basically the most important thing to win the league is every single game, every single player's got to be a 7.
Yep.
Minimum. That's the team basic. And then one player giving you a 9 out of that wins you the game.
Yep.
2-3 players, you're winning 4 and 5-0, which is what's been happening. So we're getting that basic 7. But I think Coutinho is personally invested in wanting to show himself. Is he really as good as he's always thought he could be, as everyone's told him he could be? The same goes for Mane, Firmino. All these players will have this responsibility, but he seems to be the one who's stepping up and don't worry guys, you make the runs, I will get the ball, come into the middle, take on 3 players and give you the ball when you're on your own. And I fucking just love it, yeah? That's the mark of a player who's ready to stand up against any other player and go toe-to-toe with them.
I can come to you, Jay. He's the one player, I think, in the system who kind of gets away with doing what he wants, and I think it's built for that. So Lallana, Mane, Firmino, well, you'll often see them interchanging and stuff, and one will end up front, one will end up in midfield. Phil Coutinho, for the majority now, obviously when he's played there, obviously he's done a bit of midfield jobs through injury and stuff, but he's playing wide left, and his two positions are either wide left, or he'll just drift inside and come a little bit deeper. But he's not the one who's doing the interchanging runs to an extent. He's very rarely got the guy who's up top, I don't think. Recently, beginning of the season, he found himself in the box a fair bit, and even against Palace, he's arriving at the back stick with the header. But for the whole, he's almost the constant. So we'll work around how good he is, and it's taken him from the 5s and 6 games. Sometimes he's like what Johnny just said. He's always a 7, and he's getting better and better. If he can do this the whole season, I can't see how Liverpool can be anything other than
top 4.
Well, third. Fourth, at the absolute worst, because he's hit a level now and a level of consistency where he's doing something every game that is just like fucking hell. So we speak about numbers a lot on this show, don't we? Coutinho's numbers have always been up and down.
Yeah.
He's constantly getting an assist or a goal almost every game, and if he's not, it's because De Gea pulls off an absolute worldie. It's for lack of better, it's bloody exciting.
It is. It's. I mean, like, I do all of the research stuff for the lads when they do like the weekend briefing, and like getting his stats up last week to like do the like against De Bruyne and other people, and you see actually what he actually is producing. Like, I know statistics can be like a blind alley sometimes, but he's at that level at the minute. You know what I mean? People almost don't want to say it because don't jinx a good thing or whatever, but he's performing at that level week in, week out at the minute. And you're right, I do think the system as a partner, I think the fact that he's got a Milner, who's a safe pair of hands, but also a Moreno who's got the pace, you can go outside of him and he can cut in. He knows he's got a Henderson behind him to maybe fill the midfield space and stuff. And the back three, it becomes when it's him and Matip and Lovren, that takes care of itself. So he hasn't got necessarily the defensive responsibility always. He does track back and challenge, but he hasn't got to sacrifice that for his attacking side of his game. So that left side where he can just be in a kind of a free roll and just kind of float round, it's really getting the best out of him. And you're seeing him come in and I think the problem he's had for a while is trying to knit the two sides of his game together, because when he first joined, he was very much a creative guy who'd pick a pass for Sturridge, running in behind, and in the second season and the last season for a while we saw him maybe being more of a player, like a midfielder on the wing or whatever, whereas now he's getting both elements. He's coming into the area and taking shots and contributing from attacking midfield, but then he's also picking a pass out for someone who's in the area. Or
started dribbling as well, innit? It's like he's added different elements to his game.
The beauty of that position is now that I don't think he has had beforehand. He's got Mane and Firmino running in behind, so we know that Coutinho can play a good pass. He can cut a defence open, so with their back 4 or 3 or whatever it is, dropping a bit deeper to stop the runs in behind, he's now got space to shoot around the area, because he's got an extra 5 yards, and then their defence or their midfield will have to like drop a bit deeper. And he's also good in midfield. He was good in the Wijnaldum kind of
Swansea was good
kind of role when he's playing these reverse passes, as you say, to Moreno, and then Moreno like smacks the post. That he knows where people are behind him. He knows where the runs are, and he's so clever. And he's become kind of the golden boy for the club now. Yeah. What with like people leaving and Sturridge being on the bench, who do we look to? Who are little kids getting on the back of their shirt? It's Coutinho everywhere. He's the man at the minute, and I think we said it on the podcast. This confidence that has been like, it's kind of a responsibility he's been thrust upon him. Although he doesn't have to get all the goals, he is the man that makes us tick. If you stop Coutinho, to a certain extent, you've stopped a lot of Liverpool's play.
The player who comes second on the vote then was Roberto Firmino, famous for getting his top off and having extremely bright teeth, and for being good at the footy.
Same could be said for Katie Price.
She good with balls. Good with balls as well. Gets the top off,
Incredible.
Anyway,
great at football.
When's Donald Trump on the show?
Katie Price isn't playing up front for Liverpool. Roberto Firmino has established himself as he's Liverpool striker. Before the season, you guess who Liverpool striker is. I'd have said it's definitely Sturridge. It might be Origi, and in massive big away games at City, at Chelsea, at Arsenal, he'll probably put Firmino up there to do a job. Now, Roberto Firmino's playing up front. He's whether he's a striker or not, he's now Liverpool's number 9. That's what he's become, and he's earned every bit of it. He's looked good. You can move him to the left and he'll look great like he did against Leicester, for example. But throughout October, which we're talking about, Roberto Firmino, Liverpool's number 9, and he's done a bloody good job at it again.
Yeah, as you said there, it was the debate: is it Sturridge, is it Firmino? But Firmino is looking every bit a striker, as any other striker in the league. When Hendo he makes a run, Hendo makes that pass straight through, bit poor defending, but Firmino's there and he just dinks it over the keeper. It was so simple, as you're saying. It's kind of world class stuff when you're just dinking without.
By the way, can I just interrupt very quick? You know, Arsenal fans, you know, Mesut Ozil's goal that you're all that one. Mesut Ozil's goal that you're all on about. You know what I'm on about, with the little dink in the chip. Roberto Firmino just lobs that over the goalie and takes his top off. So all these vines of Ozil doing dribbles around third division players. Watch Bobby Firmino.
Watch how it's really
Watch
done.
how it's really done. It's top off. He's in the crowd before the ball's even in the goal. None of this sucking his fun bollocks, no. Easy. If anything, the ref should have blew the whistle and said you're not allowed to score that goal because you haven't done it like for me. You haven't done it like for me. Until you take your top off, it doesn't count. Sorry, back at it.
Back to basics.
He's making the difficult things look very simple, but he's earning the right to get in these positions by working his balls off, basically.
It's all about the work ethic for me, because he is the guy who's chasing defences down and not giving them a second on the ball. He's the guy that makes the defender pass it back to keeper, who will scoop the ball up, and then Liverpool have got a chance. He's the one, he'll run into the flanks, he'll close down fullbacks. He puts so much work into the first hour and 70 minutes of a game that mistakes are creeping in. A defender doesn't want to get the ball when you've got Bobby Firmino chasing you down like a fucking dog with a rash and just running at you. And the fact that we know we won't get that from Sturridge. We know Sturridge is brilliant. He's a poacher. He can do that. It's the closing down for me. I think that's what Klopp knows and respects about Firmino. And also, he'll get kicked everywhere. And he's strong. He's stocky. He can hack it. He can hack it off a big defender who's going to kick him. He's getting the goals. He's got goals in Germany. He get goals here because he just, I don't know, certain players have got like an instinct of where the ball's going to bounce and the position, and they'll get round the back of other players. So all his goals, they're only through hard work. And
he's very intelligent.
And do you know what? When he's doing these skills and he's just like doing a little back heel and a flick, that just, I laugh my head off. Very rarely do you get a footballer who's so good at football, they make you laugh. And that's exactly how Firmino's playing at the minute. And it does help that he's got Coutinho and Mane around him.
Oh yeah, it's not going to harm, is it? When you play with good players, you look better players. So it's for example, why does Gini Wijnaldum look better at Liverpool than at Newcastle? Well, because look who he's playing with. And so why does Adam Lallana look better in this team than he has in the past? Well, again, look who's playing.
Why
does
Joe Allen look better though when he left us?
He doesn't. He looks like
to be fair with Joe Allen,
he just looks like Joe Allen does.
He started to see that we were like,
he's a big fish in a small pond over down in Stoke.
I don't think he wasn't good enough, basically. And
he's fine.
He's a good player, but like with Firmino though, like you say, intelligence. For me, that's the biggest thing. It's this. He's got that Suarez and other top players. Like, okay, I'm going to pretend. He'll fucking fake a run just to get fake a move, let's say, to put the defender in a false sense of security, make him turn one way, and then he'll be on it because he would have anticipated it all. Or, you know, the penalty with Swansea. Do you know what I mean? That ball's gone up, and he's just like, yep, I'm watching this all the way. Everyone else it's bounced, they've missed it, and he's just like, yeah, I'm still and there we go, he gets the pen. It's the intelligence that you bastard.
Someone didn't turn the phone off.
Bastard!
Is that you again?
You again, lad?
Cut up by his own phone.
No, I don't want it.
No, does he want it? Take it out, Tom.
I'm just putting his mouth.
He's just putting his missus. He's going to be in trouble. Tom's just got Johnny in the doghouse for putting in his missus.
He's on the couch tonight. He's on that couch tonight.
You're sleeping here tonight. I think that's a good place to cut it off then. Let's talk very quickly about the lad who come third, Joel Matip then, Jay. Very impressive. He had probably... It's mad watching Liverpool have a defender who you think, oh my God, this lad's really, really good. It's been a few years since we've had this, and it's reassuring at best.
I'm running out of hippier quotes to use for this lad. He's just brilliant, mate. I mean, what I like actually, maybe more so this month than the previous months, because he's been good basically since he started the season, is that he's actually starting to get the plaudits professionally as well. You're seeing people on Match of the Day, you're seeing people on Sky and whatever say, like, you know, this lad they've got him on a free.
Yeah, they've suddenly realised, like,
I did call for that signing before we got him as well, you know. So just ahead of the curve.
He's just steely, mate.
Bundesliga Lewis over here. No.
I love him. I love him, mate. I just think he's we've said, I've seen other people say it on the couch, and we've said it ourselves a few times. It's a bit of a thankless task being a defender, because you can be great for 89 minutes, fuck up, and then people think, oh, you had a shit game. Whereas it's the opposite if you're a striker, and you know, it's rare, like say the Ballon d'Or list come out last week, it's rare you get like a defender on it, you know what I mean? But he just adds so much more to our game, to the point where we've had all this talk about set plays and stuff in the last 2 weeks, and our defence. I'm actually not worried about our defence at the minute. Like, it's only like I don't know what the figure is now, but I know last week it was like we conceded 2 more goals more than Arsenal or whatever, or City, and you just think, like, I'm not bothered. Like, if we concede the goal, fair enough, but with him in that back line, and he's been brilliant and done everything that he's done and looked boss, but I also think the way he's been a partner to Lovren, you know what I mean? There's question marks over that kind of Lovren-Sakho thing for a while, or who partners who, like, and all them questions now are just like, we're not thinking about them anymore. It's just he's come in, been brilliant in his own right, but then also made everyone else around him, like you were saying, with better players, look better.
And like other defenders from other teams, and you watch them, you're like, why can't we just have defenders who do that?
And now we have.
Yeah.
Very quick, we'll do a little bit more on the defence in a minute, but very quickly, Paul or Chris or whoever the tweets out, might have been Tom, I don't know, who's got access to this account, basically ask people who else would you have considered, obviously, if it wasn't one of those three. We've had shouts for, I'm not going to read names because it'll take me all day, but I'm going to read the players' names, not the people's names. By explaining that, I've took the same amount of time as it would have took me to read.
It wouldn't make any sense if you just wrote the,
if I just said the players'
Twitter names.
Yeah, I should.
Jimmy Smith.
By explaining what I was going to do to save time, I've actually wasted more time. But go figure. Anyway, Mane's on there, Milner's on there, Henderson's on there. One guy voted for Firmino, but his girlfriend voted for Emre Can because he's fit. Fair.
What's his girlfriend look like?
I couldn't tell me out. Football JME, asking Mrs. to send Lewis some pics. And then
I don't want to get in any trouble.
And there was a shout for Adam Lallana as well, which I think. So basically, you've got Mane, Milner, Henderson, and Lallana. I'm going to discount the Chan one. He is good looking, but yeah.
Who'd be your man, Steve?
Out of those, I mean, I'd have picked Coutinho. I'd have vote. In fact, I did vote on that vote for Coutinho. I think Lallana's been excellent again. He missed, obviously, he'd come in halfway through United and made us an instantly better team. And since then, he's been great every game. I don't know if he's quite back to 100% yet because he keeps getting taken off. But he's fantastic. I mean, does anyone knit together a Liverpool team like Adam Lallana's doing at the minute? I'd argue not. But
shows how much we missed him in the couple of games he was out for.
Well, it was mainly United, wasn't it? That's the one. We looked poor. We looked a worse team without him, which kind of makes you show how valuable he's become.
Yeah, and it's such a revelation as well. I know we've said this like before. This wasn't our midfield last season. Last season we didn't have a midfield of Wijnaldum and Lallana and Henderson. It was unheard of. Now it's hard to envisage a game without that formation because it's so integral to the way we play, in the way he shifts the ball out of his feet and starts attack. So he has been good, and what I'm really loving about like the month, it's shown this month as injuries have crept through, just how competitive our squad is now, because you've got Wijnaldum and Can gunning for the same position. Coutinho has played there as well. Lallana is integral to that side, but Milner could go and play there, or Hendo can. And at left back, there's a
Grujic
slight,
as well, supposedly.
Yeah, even Grujic. Up front, Firmino, we've just covered, is keeping Sturridge on the bench, and even still, you've got Origi who's come on against Spurs. So there's so much competition with like the little injuries creeping in. It is brilliant to see.
Right, that was our discussion on Liverpool's Player of the Month for October. Phil Coutinho won your vote, and obviously we talked about a few of the other lads as well who were in contention. If you want to watch the full show, the October roundup, about an hour and 10 minutes. 10 minutes too long, I went over, sorry. On the month as a whole, so all the games, who played well, where we can improve, and we had a little look towards November as well. If you think you'd be interested in that kind of stuff, if you want to subscribe to the channel, this here, £2 a month, free for the first month. Go and sign up, check it out, and if you like it, it's £2. It's not the end of the world. If you can afford it, I'm sure you can. It's well worth. It's good value for money, and it isn't always me. Sometimes it's Paul and Chris, which isn't the best, but it's all right. So on that note, I'll see you later. Ta-da.